This episode of the Local Hustlers podcast is brought to you by Flamingo Pools, your go-to maintenance and repair company in the East Valley. Stop wasting your valuable time trying to take care of your pool and let the professionals at Flamingo Pools take care of it for you. Visit azflamingopools.com for a free quote today.
You're listening to the Local Hustlers Podcast, East Valley Locals. Get connected with small businesses near you and dive deep into their stories, mindset, and motives. Entrepreneurs everywhere. Get ready to be inspired by business owners, entrepreneurs, and hustlers that you can relate to and learn from. And now, your hosts, Dallin Huso and Ridge Waldberg.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Local Hustlers podcast. Today we have Ben Bowman, correct?
That's right.
Sweet, yeah, the founder, the father of Simple Soda Co., a local natural soda producer here in Arizona.
How's it going today?
It's pretty good. We're just forcing bubbles in liquid.
That's what we like.
I like that. I like that. All right, well, sweet, Ben. We appreciate you and your willingness to do this. Would you like to just kind of take a minute and just introduce like who you are and kind of a background before we get into the nitty gritty and the bubbly of everything?
Yeah, bubbly. Yeah. So my story is kind of unique. I was born and raised in Mexico. I'm sure you guys have heard of the Mormon colonies down there.
Yeah.
So I grew up on a farm, raising apples, and we had some pears. We planted peaches, a lot of chili, like cash crop stuff, beans and wheat. When I was 13, we moved to the U.S. and went to school here and went on a mission to Chile. Came home, met my wife, didn't think I had a chance, and here we are, and we have a beautiful baby daughter. A funny thing that we found out going through my, there's a book of family history stuff, and my ancestor actually brought the first soda fountain into the country of Mexico.
Really?
And this was after I already started Simple Soda, and so that was kind of a fun little quirk, like, oh, thanks, ancestor, for, it's in my blood.
My eyes are wide open right now. I'm like, oh wow, that's super cool. So
full circle there.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's kind of my life in a nutshell. And did you want me to talk about how Simple Soda?
Before that, sorry, I was going to say, so what did you do kind of before Simple Soda? Did you work or go to school or?
So when I first got married, in the first year of our marriage, I was involved in a very life-threatening accident. Like I should have died kind of thing. A boulder fell on my head from 30 feet up. They say it was the size of like a couch cushion.
Really?
Goodness.
Broke my back, thoracic 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I was in school at that time, and all of a sudden I was in debt of the grandeur of like a house without a house. And so school kind of took a back seat and didn't really happen. So I was working like crazy. I worked for GoDaddy for a time. I'm very tech oriented. And then from GoDaddy, I went and worked. Well, before GoDaddy, I was a 911 operator, which that was really interesting. And then
I've heard that's quite the job.
it's not for me.
Yeah, I don't think I can do it either.
I mean, I can handle handling the computer and the calls and everything, but dealing with having to tell a dad to get off of his so many month old daughter so that the paramedics could come and administer because she fell into the pool. And he was a doctor. It's just like, you have to be so commanding and have this authority with me. It was just not for me. I could deal with any call, rape call, suicide call. It was fine. But when the kids were involved, no, not for me.
Yeah.
And so that I saw myself out, went to GoDaddy, and then started working for Apple and as a genius for Apple. I worked there for about 6.5 years until I started Simple Soda.
Nice. All right, well, I guess let's kind of get into the story of how Simple Soda came about.
Let's see, it'd be 4 years ago now. About 4, give or take, a couple months. 4 years ago, we went out to eat at Snooze AM Eatery.
Okay.
Awesome breakfast joint.
I agree.
I think Utah has bomb breakfast.
Yeah, Utah does have bomb.
Arizona sucks.
Yeah.
So Snooze is like the closest thing we got to something good. And they're creative. They have their pastry, biscuits, gravy thing. It's like a puff pastry. It's delicious. Anyway, we went out to eat there, and my wife said, hey, the menu says cola, diet cola, orange soda. Is this Coke or Pepsi? And they're like, oh, it's Coke product. She's like, good, because I was just going to get water. She's Diet Coke or Diet. Anyway, and the waiter's like, yeah, we normally partner with a local soda company. There's just not one in Arizona. And for some reason, that just bothered me. Like, it's Arizona, it's hot. Yeah. We should have a soda company.
Right.
Like, people want.
Well, everybody goes like Circle K and Quick Trip on the daily, if not like multiple times a day. Yeah.
And I was just surprised by that, and I thought, that's weird. And then I really thought about about that. And I told Brianne, my wife, I was like, that's so strange. I wonder what it would take to make soda. Mm-hmm. And at the time I was working for Apple, and you think of the classic genius guy. It's a guy with beard. He brews at home. He's a home brewer. And it's true. A lot of the guys I worked with, they were home brewers. And I was like, I'm never going to fit in because I don't drink alcohol. I'm not going to brew my own beer. And so I was like, And there's one kid, he actually worked for a brewery part-time and at Apple. And this other guy was home brewing. I'm like, man, I can never really align with these guys because I don't. So I started brewing my own soda. And the process is very similar. My process is very similar to brewing beer.
Oh, is it?
Except not the fermentation side of it.
Right.
So we were like swapping stories. Like, I got a keg and I got a CO2 tank, so I'm force carbing instead of letting the yeast do their things. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's what we do. And it was kind of fun. And so I was just doing it as like a hobby. Like made up some recipes. They were really good. I love grapefruit juice, and so I wanted to have a real good grapefruit soda. Not squirt, because don't get me wrong, I'll drink a squirt, but it's not real.
It's not grapefruit,
So I made that. Just had some friends try it. They loved it. It was good. And then, some really good friends of ours, Jim Bob and Kelsey Strothers, they're going to hate me if I can't get that. They're the owners.
We'll edit out the wrong
right. You guys find that out.
We'll get on that.
They own Worth Takeaway. This is a sandwich spot.
Incredible banana pudding.
Yeah, Kelsey's baby there. She is like so proud of that. They are awesome people, and they were friends of ours. Actually, worked with Jim Bob at Apple long before I even was making soda, and so we would go into Worth and we talk to them, and they invited us over, and I brought some soda over for them to try. I was like, hey, this is something that I'm kind of like my hobby. Love to see what you guys think of this soda. Because they're in the food and beverage industry, like their opinion matters. And I thought it was great, and so they tried it, and they're like, "This is so good. What do we need to do to have this at our restaurant?" Oh. And I was like, "Well, it's more about what do I need to do to have this at your restaurant." So at that moment, we already had kind of ideas. We're like, "Oh, maybe this could be a business. I don't know." So we had like the name picked out, and so Kelsey and Jim Bob really put the fire under our butts to get going on it, and we started selling it in kegs because they had a tap system, a little kegerator. Okay. And they had Sun Up Brewery in there, which is, in my personal humble opinion, the best root beer out there right now.
All right.
And so Sun Up Brewery, I don't know how they figured that root beer out, but it's bomb. And so it was an easy thing for us to get our sodas put into. Yeah. Worth Takeaway. And so we just kind of figuring that side out. It was really easy to start growing it that way because it was just one location. Yeah. And then I always thought bottles are going to be what makes us. Yeah. On tap is cool. Yeah. But with our logo on a clear bottle, you can see through it. You can see through the logo and transparency and kind of that. Then you flip around, you look at the ingredients, and that's transparent because it's literally juice, water, and sugar. Yeah. Like it's simple, and that was kind of the whole idea behind it. And I always thought in the back of my head, and once we have bottles, that's where we're gonna take off. Mm-hmm. So we worked, and I was still working for Apple. So when you're working full time and trying to build something, and on top of all that, 3 months after I even had that initial snooze idea, we had a baby girl. So we're new parents, we're both working full time, and we have this idea of making bubbly juice.
So like 2 babies on the way, pretty much. You have one and then another one on the way.
And a business is just as much involved as a kid. That's very true. So yeah, that's kind of how Simple Soda was birthed.
That's sweet. That's sweet. So more like on the whole natural side. So what made you choose like the natural route instead of, I guess, just making soda like usual? I mean, the artificials and everything like that.
I don't know what like really sparked me to be like, oh, this has to be 100% natural, but it just became a thing where like we only use real ingredients, and we took it even further to where we don't even use a concentrated juice. Because if you go into Walmart or wherever, you look at a bottle, it'll say 100% juice on there. If you look at the ingredients, it says from concentrate. Yeah. In theory, there's no difference, because a concentrated juice is they took juice and they evaporated all the water out of it, and then they put water back in. Right. But when you taste a fresh, like real juice compared to a juice from concentrate,
it's way different.
It's not the same. Yeah. It doesn't sit the same. It doesn't feel the same. But the FDA says it's the same, quote unquote. Yeah. So I looked at that, and I've tried like tons of grapefruit. Like I said, I love grapefruit. So if we ever went out to eat, I'd have grapefruit juice. And my question was, is this real grapefruit juice? And I was like, yeah, it's 100%. I was like, no. Is this like legit or not? Because if it's not, you can tell. Yeah. ocean spray or whatever it is not 100% juice, even though the bottle says 100%. It's just not. So for some reason, in my mind, in my heart of hearts, I was like, this has to be real, like 100% real, because it's better. It tastes better. Your body's like, oh, this is better. You want more. It just, it's all in all just.
It's
a lot
simple
better.
too.
Yeah, keeps it simple. Yeah, stupid.
At what point did you go from, like you said, a hobby, just like having friends taste it, to like, hey, this is actually business. We're gonna run with this.
It actually happened pretty quick, because my best friend growing up, Sean Bluth. He was all about it, and he thought, oh, this is great. And so he was like, you should do something with this. And then like that week we met with Jim, Bob, and Kelsey, and I was like, yeah, this could be it. And that meeting impromptu meeting with Jim, Bob, and Kelsey is what really made it go from, okay, this is no joke, because I thought they were good.
Yeah.
Our Arizona orange, fantastic. Our lime was my favorite, and the grapefruit was just bomb. But it was real. It became a business when we talked to Jim, Bob, and Kelsey.
Right. Before this, did you ever have any desire to start a business? Did you ever think you would start a business? Or
Yeah, in the back of my mind, I look back and I didn't realize that I'm an entrepreneurial person, like through and through. Even in Mexico, I was doing side hustles on stupid stuff, and I didn't realize that I was that. And then when we moved to the U.S., I made hacky sacks to sell to people.
Oh wow!
And out of socks, like it's so stupid. But I look back, and I'm like, man, I was like trying to hustle. I was doing something. I was always doing something, and then. Yeah, there's always just tons of little things. I wanted to do I made a really good Orange Julius when I was younger. I thought, oh, I can do Orange Julius. And my buddy, Matt, he made a smoothie and he called it Matt Juice. So I was like, man, we should open up a little smoothie shop and call it Orange Julius and Matt Juice or something. I don't know. And so I've always had that in there. I just didn't realize it took until Simple Soda to come around that I realized, oh, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people have those tendencies growing up. Like me and Ridge have talked about, we grew up hot dog stands, lemonade stands, hustling bigger, better. But, it doesn't really click that, it's because I have, an entrepreneurial mind until you kind of start something and realize that's what you want to do.
I wish I realized it a long time ago. There's this little girl that participates in the farmer's market that we do. And she does a soap kind of a thing. Tons of different like skincare products.
Yeah.
And I went to her booth and I thought it was her mom. And she's like, no, this is all her. And she's like 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, dang. I wish I was that.
Yeah.
When I was 8. Yeah. Because I had it. I just didn't realize what I had.
Right. Well, yeah, props to her parents or whoever kind of encouraged her to.
Yeah. She actually wanted to do it since she was 5. And
really?
I was like, you're 5. Yeah. And she kept on it for 3 years. And the mom was like, we can't fight this entrepreneur. We got to go.
That's
we got to do it. So
guess you're going to have to get on the show next, right?
Yeah.
She would be awesome.
So tell us a bit. So you said farmers market. So I guess let's get into kind of like how you sell the soda, like where it goes, who buys it, things like that.
So initially we were just going in with takeaway, they started out with a keg a week, and then there were 2 kegs a week, and then they were at 3 kegs a week, and it was just growing and growing. And I was like, this would be great. I bought some bottles, these little 6-ounce.
So it hadn't been bottled yet. So Worth was just on tap. Okay.
And like I said, back in my mind, I needed bottles. And I was trying to find just a small amount of bottles, maybe 200 to start, just to do samples and figure out how to fill bottles. Yeah. Which filling bottles of soda is a whole different ballgame that you wouldn't even think.
Right. Yeah, how do you even learn how to get that done?
YouTube, right?
Yeah, school of YouTube, like tons of research, and I had no idea what I was doing. I tried to do a gravity feeder, which is it's so stupid when you're using carbonation because the pressure is super important. Anyway, sorry, not to get back.
No, you're good.
I really wanted bottles. And I couldn't find bottles. Nobody had bottles. You could find amber bottles, the brown bottles. Everybody and their mom has those. But Flint or clear bottles, those are impossible to get. Like if you wanted to go down to Brew Your Own Brew or some brew shop, they've got amber bottles, green bottles, no clear bottles. I'm talking 3 years ago. Yeah. Now it's kind of changed a little bit. You might be able to pick some up, but primarily it's amber. Because if you're home brewing, you don't want clear because the sunlight can damage their stuff. That's why the green and brown bottles exist, because it protects against UV light. And beer is so susceptible to that. Okay. I never thought I would know so much about beer.
Well, I mean, clearly we don't know anything either. Right. That's just
by default. Anyway, so I've learned a lot about brewing because it's not what I needed. Yeah. And so I was like, well, why? So I would spend hours on YouTube and Google and just that's why this is that and blah. So I tried to find bottles were so hard to get. I have a cousin that's a brewer in California, So I reached out to him. I was like, hey man, do you know of a bottle supplier that can hook me up, like, to get me these bottles? He's like, yeah, there's this company. Let me get them in contact. Help you find them. I like spent hours and hours and hours searching for a bottle supplier. Like I don't even know how much time I wasted. The frustrating thing is the company that they use has their headquarters they have one in Phoenix.
Of course.
I'm like, this whole time, why would they show up in a Google search like
Exactly.
bottle supplier Phoenix? Didn't show up. So I found them. I got in contact with them. They're like, yeah, we totally can get you clear bottles. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. Minimum order is 4,400 bottles.
Oh shit.
And I'm shoestringing it. Like, I get $200 from a sale. I'm like, whoa, this is awesome. You know. And the minimum order is 4,000 bottles, and they're at 15.5 cents per bottle plus shipping and some other charges. So it ended up being close to $1,200 just to get those bottles. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh crap, I can't afford this. I don't know what I'm gonna do to get bottles. I just wanted a case. I wanted 24 to 100 bottles. I figured that shouldn't be that expensive. They're just bottles. And yeah, I couldn't find them. So I was using like Coke bottles, rinsing them out and filling up with that. Anyway, so I finally there was a guy that would come to the Apple store a lot, and he was good. He ended up becoming a friend of mine, and he was asking me how things were going with Simple Soda. And I was like, yeah, I just need $1,000 so I can get these stupid bottles. And he gave me a check for $1,000.
Really?
Wow.
And I was just like, what?
And you weren't even asking him?
No.
Yeah.
He's like, $1,000 is what's holding you back? I was like, yeah. Like, dude, I'm going to give that to you. And this guy, he was loaded, obviously. He was like, I don't care. Here's $1,000 and just gave it to me.
Oh, wow.
I was like,
that's awesome.
Dude, wow. I couldn't believe it. I was blown away. And so I took it and ran with it, and that really helped us a lot. So I went and bought stickers as labels to put on the bottles, and we're manually setting them on there.
Yeah.
Making sure they're straight.
And so I made this makeshift wooden bottle holder thing that you could put the stickers on, and it would feed the sticker up through, and if you turn the bottle, it would put the label on just right.
Oh wow.
But I didn't have the right tools to make the wood thing, and so it was kinked a little, so you had to hold the bottle at a weird angle just to get it out. It was so stupid. And so I was putting these on manually, and we got in some good friends of ours introduced us to the owner of Fire and Brimstone in Gilbert at Martin One. And so I took some over to him. He's like, this is awesome. I love it. It's real. It's hot. Like, it feels good. It meets my aesthetic. So we threw bottles in there. And I feel so bad about this. The health inspector showed up and said, you can't sell these bottles. There's no information on them about anything. And it lowered their health rating because of my product. And I'm like, what the crap? I felt so bad. I felt so bad. I've since repaired that relationship. He didn't really care, come to find out. I was like, whatever. But I felt like I did him a huge disservice.
Oh, yeah.
And they pulled the bottles, and he already paid for them. And I'm like, oh, crap, I'm going to have to buy these bottles back. And it was a mess. And so I was like, okay, well, we have to figure out how we can label these bottles right. And come to find out, you have to have a license to be able to bottle. And you have to be doing it at a specific type of location. And so that location has to be inspected. And there's like layers and layers and layers of all this regulation that you have to meet that I had no idea.
Yeah. It's a bunch of learning curves.
That, and like each inspection costs $500.
Oh my goodness.
So you're sitting there like, I'm making these tiny sales.
That $200 check isn't so big anymore, is it?
Well, yeah, it's just like, what do I do? And so we just went and talked to Kelsey and Jim Bob, and they're like, oh yeah, you can use our kitchen as a commissary kitchen. Boom, that took care of a huge part. So they would come in and inspect my process, and I got the bottling license, and everything's honky-dory. And so, but still, we're kind of not able to produce enough. And sorry, I feel like I don't know if I've answered your question.
You're good.
Keep going.
Yeah, you're good.
And so we're just like, what do we do next? And so we have these other locations that really wanted it. I start getting emails from California, and Utah, and Texas, like, your product is awesome. We want it. I'm like, that's great. I want to give it to you, but I'm doing one bottle at a time, and it takes me 30 seconds to a minute to fill each bottle.
Wow.
And a counter pressure bottling system is what you need. And what that does is it applies pressure to the bottle that equalizes with the tank where the soda's held. And when you release the pressure from the bottle, it tries to equalize, which forces the soda into the bottle, and it slowly fills it under a controlled pressure. It's all scientific.
Totally.
Chemistry, blah, blah, blah. CO2 wants to escape, but this forces it to stay controlled.
Okay.
You get a lot less spillage and all this stuff. So I have a counter pressure manual bottling filler that I was using. And it was slow, but it worked. I didn't lose a drop of soda anymore. Whereas before, with that stupid gravity feeder, I would have pressure off of this keg sitting at like 8 psi, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're putting 12 ounces into a bottle,
that's quite a bit.
The gravity feeder has this little, I don't know what to call it, a nipple, but a little stopper at the bottom, so you can put it in there. And as soon as you push it, it releases that valve, and the soda just comes gushing out at 8 psi. And so it just, CO2 is like, freedom, let me out. And so you have all these bubbles coming up, and you lose so much product.
Yeah.
It was just a mess. So I found this bottle filler, counter pressure bottle filler, and it works. And things were going good. We're trying to figure out our labeling, and so we can be in all these places that want it. My end goal was really I want to be in Snooze because they're the ones that inceptioned me.
Yeah.
What's the time frame? So right now, like how far are you into it?
Probably a year.
Okay.
Year and a half. And so I'm sitting here like, cool, I kind of have this figured out. I'm just gonna get this, and then I see my cousin, and I'm still at Apple this time, and he's coming in for something. I was like, Ty, what are you doing here? He's like, I broke my phone again or whatever. And Ty is the owner of Lifetime Leather. I don't know if you guys know about Lifetime Leather.
Sure.
It's a company he created. It's older, but it's a pretty big company. They do really, really well. He makes handcrafted leather goods.
Oh, okay, cool.
High quality stuff. Like really, really legit stuff.
Top of the line.
Anyway, he's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm working here, but I'm trying to get this company started. So we met up. We went out to a shop, and he's like, we could set it up here. We could, let me buy into the company, and I'll build it up. I'm like, sweet. So we start doing all the process for that. He's got the 7,000 square foot warehouse. I can take 2,000 square feet of that. I'm like, this is amazing. We're going to do awesome stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, we'll be able to do $1 million in sales by the end of the year. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That's insane. I'm so excited. Yeah, let's do this. The fire is just going, and I'm excited. And I'm like, yeah, we're going to make this happen. And so we're trying to figure it out. The zoning for that, where his warehouse was, is technically not allowed for that type of production of stuff. Which, don't even get me, I hate the whole zoning bullcrap. This is my land, let me do what I want with it. It's stupid. Oh man, so frustrating.
That's all how it is.
I just got back into that flashback of dealing with that county crap. Oh, so frustrating. So we went and met with the county to get what was it called? Like a temporary use permit. Like we were allowed to use the warehouse for soda production. We weren't going to have customers come there. It wasn't like, hey, come pick up here. It would just be me driving in a truck, doing my thing, quiet. Like, making soda is not loud. We're forcing bubbles into liquid into a sealed container. It's not loud. And so we wanted all this stuff, and they're like, yeah, we'll get you the use permit, but you need to talk to your neighbors within so many yards.
Oh, my goodness.
So I sent out this letter. Well, I didn't actually send it. I walked over and put it in everybody's mailbox, which is illegal.
Really?
Yeah, you can't put stuff in people's mailboxes. Come to find out.
Okay.
So be forewarned. Don't be messing with people's mailboxes.
Take notes.
That's why Amazon drops it at your door.
Makes sense.
Anyway, had I known, I would have just taken it to the door. But there's this lady in his neighborhood who will remain nameless because she's the worst person in the world. And come to find out, I didn't even have to put a letter in her box because her property was outside of that yardage. I was just trying to cover up, make sure I did my due diligence. Yeah. And so we had to have a meeting with the neighbors at a park. So we went to the park, and they're like, oh, why didn't you have the park in the neighborhood? And it was like not even a quarter mile away from the neighborhood. It was just like, it was the only park because you guys live on like a county island where there's no development of any type of park. Where would you want us to? Anyway, it's stupid. So we go there, and she's there with her bulldog of a guy who's like, oh, you guys didn't, blah, blah, blah. Like, they were prepared with all these reasons why they don't want us making soda in their neighborhood.
Like, it's such an innocent thing.
What was their... Like,
there's gonna be so many trucks driving through the neighborhood. There's gonna create a ton of traffic. And I was like, hold up, it's just me.
Like, this is simple soda. Like, this is very simple. Everything is simple, lady. Like,
the most you would see is one truck driving in and out of the neighborhood, maybe every other day.
Yeah.
Like, it's not... Anyway, she made a huge deal about it. She went on the neighborhood Facebook page and said, Simple Soda is going to be doing a huge production factory in our neighborhood. Do you guys really want this neighborhood to go to crap because Simple Soda... Like, just insane. Come to find out. So, you can run a business on your property in that neighborhood, but it has to be of less than 3 people.
Oh.
Employees-wise.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, cool. It's just me. Just one. But it kind of put Ty's business at risk because then it drew attention to what he was doing with the leather.
Okay.
And so technically with me there, that would have been 4 people, not 3. And so Ty kind of got like, I don't want to, I don't want to ruffle any feathers.
Yeah.
So it put a huge stop. And at that point, I put like everything that I had savings wise into doing this there because I was like, this is our answer. We can do it.
Yeah.
So it kind of fell to the wayside. I kept doing a little bit of like storage there, and it just didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
It was sad. Like we dug a hole for the drain to come over to a septic tank, and it took a lot of work and time and energy and money to rent the equipment.
Yeah.
And it was just a big bummer. And then fast forward a few months, and a friend of mine from Mexico, his daughter was getting married, and they were up having the reception in Mesa. Okay. Let me know if I need to go faster or.
You're good.
You're good. Yeah, we're rolling with it.
I like the story.
Yeah, the story's good.
So I'm trying everything I can to push this forward. Like the first one with the bottles getting pulled out of Fire and Brimstone, huge downer.
Right.
Tie at the warehouse, like that was all chips are in. Like I'm going head first, and that failed. And I'm like, crap.
Are you still in Worth though?
We're still in Worth, sure. Okay. And it's just we're getting a lot of momentum. Like people are interested, they're trying it. And we also built this cart. Jameson and Allie are our first partners. Okay. They built the cart. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it's a beautiful looking cart with our logo on there. It has 3 taps. So now we can do events, weddings and stuff.
Okay,
so
nice.
We're doing those type of little things here and there, but it's not much.
No, it doesn't.
Bottles are the answer.
Yeah.
I need bottles. So we go, we're doing this stuff, and then Gilbert Farmers Market reached out to us and was like, hey, we've tried your stuff at Worth. Would you be interested in setting up a booth at the Farmers Market? Mm-hmm. Oh, heck yeah. Why not? That's sells every week. Yeah. Let's do it. So we start doing that, and sales are pretty good. You know, anything's better than nothing. So we're like, yeah, this is fun. It's cool. It's getting our name out there. People are trying it. And we're like, this is cool. Like, we're making, like, maybe that's what we do. We just keep doing farmers markets, and I work, and farmers markets, and I work, and then we save up until we can get to next. Mm-hmm. It's going to take forever, but what options do we have? Yeah. So a friend of the family comes up for his daughter's wedding, Kelly Jones. I don't know, maybe not. Take his name out. We'll just say Kelly comes up, and I'm like, hey, this guy worked for Procter & Gamble, P&G, like Tide, like big company, huge company. Mm-hmm. And he worked on the branding side of things. So I was like, dude, I would really like to get your opinion on our product. Yeah. Love to see what you think about it. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, that'd be cool. Come over. We rented an Airbnb. Come up. Check it out. So we go over and take him some soda. He looks at the brand. He takes, like, this is my ideal situation for anybody that's trying the soda. Mm-hmm. They look at it. They open it. They take a sip. And then they look at it again. And you can see the wheels turning. I can taste through this and I can see through this. Mm-hmm. Subconsciously, you're like, wow, this is real. It's simple. Yeah. I can see it. I can see the juice. I can taste the juice. Like it. Everything happened. And he did that. And I was like, yes, got him. And it's like, I have no constructive feedback to give you. It's perfect. Coming from him, I was like, wow, high praise. Like that is huge for me. Yeah. Super cool. The guy knows his stuff. And for him to say, I wouldn't change a thing. Mm-hmm. Like, that is huge. So we were leaving. They're like, what's next? Like, do you guys need some capital? What do you want to do? I was like, oh, we're trying to do this thing with Ty at the warehouse. And that's when things were like kind of like meeting with the neighbor. Yeah. And had already passed. And it was like, we were still trying to figure out if we could still do it. I was like, right now this is where we're at. And so I just wanted to get your opinion. Like, I was literally not looking for anything other than that. Right. Just wanted to share it with you. Mm-hmm. And he goes, okay. And then a couple months, maybe a month later, sorry if I keep shaking it. No, you're good. A month later, I get an email from him, and he's like, hey, I found this Coca-Cola plant is going out of business, and they have all this equipment. I don't know if you wanted to buy it, but here it is. And we're talking like 300 barrels size of stuff. So a U.S. barrel is 31.5 gallons. These are like 300 barrel tanks. So do the math. Huge, massive production. I'm like, I couldn't even use a barrel right now. Like, they make bright tank. They're bright tanks. So what a bright tank is what you put your beverage in. Mm-hmm. They also call them conditioning tanks. Mm-hmm. And that's where you force the bubbles, the carbonation into it. So it gets under pressure. There's an agitation going on. Over time, the CO2 molecules will join forces with the water molecules that are in there, and they'll bond together.
Just a bunch of chemistry.
As long as it's below 35 degrees. Okay. That's when they bond best. Okay. That 33 to 35 degree, or 40, we'll say 40. But that window of temperature, that's where CO2 is like, this is cozy. I'm just going to settle in here. So you have this bright tank that's jacketed that is temperature controlled, and all the bubbles get in there and the mixture and everything. Anyway, so he's like, there's this 300 barrel things. I was like, I'd be happy with a 3-barrel system.
Yeah.
Not a 300 barrel system. Like that's like maybe in 20 years.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, shoot. Why don't you and Brianne come down to Mexico and see what we do and see if we could set up operation down here? I'm like, well, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been hearing from all these people, business friends of mine that are like, you need to find a co-packer. You just need to have a co-packer do it.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to, but they want a lot of money up front.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And they will match my recipe. So they'll do what they can to make it taste the same, but it's not going to be real.
It's not your recipe.
Or it wouldn't be my recipe. So with Kelly down home in Mexico, he's like, I'll do it, your recipe. We don't make soda, so this would be a soda factory designed for you.
Yeah.
With the flip side, like, yeah, you pay us for it, but we also get some equity in the company. I'm like, I don't care. I just want this thing to roll. I'm not a greedy person. I would love for this to explode.
Yeah.
Rising tide raises all ships. So you help me, and in turn, I'll help you because you'll have equity in the company. Mm-hmm. So we went down there and we looked at it, and things were looking good. And we toured their factory that they have down there. They process all the chili that comes from Mexico, basically, which is a lot, millions of pounds of chili. And I'm like, yeah, they have the workforce, they have the know-how, they have labs, testing. Why not? So we said, yeah, let's do it. Let's go down there and let's set up shop and make soda in Mexico. Cheaper fruit, everything, like labor's cheap. Yeah, it sounds good. Yeah. I like it. Let's do it. So I go down there, I show them how to make it, teach them the recipes. We sign a non-disclosure agreement and all that fun stuff. And we're like, this is great. Like, I'm super excited. We have a bright tank. It's a 5-barrel bright tank. I'm like, ooh, this is cool.
Yeah.
We got workers. They're juicing. They're putting it in there. We do a test run. The soda comes out fizzy. Like, this is awesome. We bottle. Like, oh, great. So I went to let me back up a bit. There's a distributor here in the valley that approached us. Like, we see what you guys are doing. Can we distribute for you? Mm-hmm. And I went to them. I was like, I just need a refrigerated truck. I'd love to be able to, for my own deliveries. They're like, why don't you just have us do it? I was like, I didn't know if you guys would want to. Yeah. So yes. They're like, sweet. You're the only craft soda company in the state, and you're the only all natural soda company that we know of in the Southwest. So sweet, let's do it. I was like, I'm not surprised by that because California's knocking on my door every day. Yeah. Like so many different restaurants from there are just like, hey,
there's a ton of good
some soda.
Good places, yeah.
So I'm like, awesome. Went down to Mexico. I'm like, cool. We're gonna be doing pallets of soda. They're gonna be coming up. Can you guys distribute that? Like, yeah, we're gonna go on sales calls. We're gonna do all this stuff. And I'm like, it's happening. Bottles. We're the answer. The bottles are coming. I'm so excited. This is great. Yeah, my dream's coming true. Like, I made a product. I'm seeing it come true. They're buying the bottles down there in bulk, so we're able to get pricing better. Boxes. We have these beautiful boxes that have the spacing inside with the bottles. I'm like, this is amazing. I'm so excited. First shipment comes. Everything's looking great. Had to drop a really pretty penny to get it shipped here cold. Like, it's...
Yeah.
It basically took all the profits, but I'm like, I don't care. I have soda in the U.S., and we have a lot of it, and it's getting out there. So over time, pricing will drop, and we'll be able to make money. Yeah. This is great. I'm so excited. And next shipment comes. The orange arrives spoiled. A whole pallet of orange is bad. Uh-oh. Like, day one. And I'm like, I can't sell this. I can't. Like, obviously I can't. What am I supposed to do? I have people counting on this. And that was a huge letdown. I was like, oh, what are we doing in Mexico? Like, what's happened? What has changed between the first and the second shipment? Yeah. Mm-hmm. All the other sodas are fine. It was just the orange. I'm like, what the heck? So we go into investigative mode and come to find out the orange juice that they were using isn't pasteurized, and so it spoils a lot easier even though it's been bottled. And there's a lot of points where the temperature could have gotten above 40 degrees, and that's when things spoil. And so we try to do that again. They sent another shipment up. All of a sudden, during all this, the grapefruit's going bad. It's turning white inside, and we're like, what the heck is going on? And so we're like, maybe we have to use a preservative. I was like, I don't want to use preservatives because that goes against the simple brand. Yeah. So I started doing research about preservatives. I'm like, what the heck am I doing? And this is all crazy, and I'm trying to figure it out. And push comes to shove, Mexico doesn't work out. And we close up shop. And it's a huge bummer. Like, I'm just like, that was it. That was the answer. And this is the third big blow.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm beside myself. I'm like, is this where we say we give it a go?
Yeah.
And give up? And inside I'm like, no, I've created an amazing product. We have amazing branding. We can't stop. We can't. Mm-hmm. And so this was December.
Oh. So this was like recently.
Yeah, it's super recent. And so now I've learned all the stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like everything about the food, the soda business. I know. So I can't stop. I'm here. Like, you can't stop. So now I've reverted back to my original plan. I'm going to do it here. Quality control will be handled here. Yeah. And so we've recently partnered up with some really cool people to create our own soda factory here.
Okay.
Nice.
In Arizona.
That's sweet.
So that's what I'm working on.
As we speak.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Wow. Yeah, that's a super cool. It was a build up. That was pretty. I did not expect it to be like that. Just happened.
Yeah, we're in it. This is we're going into our 4th year.
So let's do it. Like all steam ahead. Do it here.
You can't stop.
Yeah.
Why stop? You know.
Yeah. So I guess we should ask that question to you. Why stop? Like why do you want to keep going? How have you kept that fire through all
the disappointment?
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough. I mean, the first downfall with the bottles getting pulled at that time, that's a big deal. You know, that's a big pill to swallow. Mm-hmm. Looking back, that's nothing. That's nothing.
Right.
And then I look back at the second downfall of Ty's shop. That's not a big deal anymore. Yeah. Like it's kind of like as I'm growing and learning, I look back and I'm like, that was nothing. That was not a big deal. At the time, it was devastating.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I don't think we can continue. But I kept pushing. I was like, why not? We're still in worth takeaway. We're still making some sales. But every once in a while, somebody will come to the market. Like, I've been wanting to try your soda for months. I came down from Vermont, or I flew in. I'm visiting. I knew you guys were over here. I'm here from Chicago, or I'm here from whatever. I'm like, what? You can't. I mean, they were here visiting friends, but they made it a point to come visit us.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what keeps me going.
So the people
love it. Yeah. And could I keep making soda for myself and go work for somebody else? Yeah, but I'd hate my life. Yeah. I can't work for anybody else. Like, I thought about going back to Apple, and I'm like,
with all the brewers.
with all the bro brewers.
Brewers talk at the Apple store.
Could I? Sure. Would I be happy? No. Yeah. I've seen the potential of what simple soda can be. And every day I wake up and I see where it's going. And I see what I have to do to get there. And I can't stop. I can't. And I have about 1,000 other entrepreneurial ideas that I'll do once I have some money. Once Simple Soda's bringing in some...
It's kind of like maintaining itself.
Yeah. Or, no, beyond that, I have a lot of work to do, guys. Like, I'm thinking just Arizona, we're going to be killing it, right? Yeah. Phoenix is huge. Let's be honest. It's like top 5 largest cities in the States. Mm-hmm. Maybe top 3 now.
It's up there. I know it's up there.
It's huge.
And then especially like the East Valley for like local and small business is massive too. Yeah, like Mesa, Gilbert, Chandler. It's
massive. So sometimes I'll catch myself. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, Arizona. I don't even think about it. Yeah, Simple Soda's doing good. We have all these. I have about 25 locations that want our soda, and we're in some really key spots. Like awesome locations. La Grande Orange is a huge account for me. Have you guys ever been there? No. It's this really cool spot in Arcadia. It's a grocery store, but they also have this pizzeria next, like as part of it. Yeah. And so my wife and I would go there, and we just love that spot. It's a really cool place, and they're pretty influential. They're the trendsetters of Arcadia.
And that's a very trendy,
super trendy spot. And so I remember when we were getting production started in Mexico, one of the things that Kelly said to do was go talk to these businesses and get a letter of intent signed, saying they want to buy the soda. So I went on the rush. I was like, yeah, we sent out emails to everybody, and Jen at LGO met with us, and she tried it. She's like, yeah, I want this in our grocery. And I remember driving home and crying of excitement. Yeah, that's awesome. I was so happy because to get into LGO meant we made it. Like, we have a legitimate product. Yeah. I was so happy.
I bet those are things that keep you going too through the hard times.
When I'm sad, I'm like, we're in freaking LGO, man. Yeah. That's huge. Yeah. And we're at the Hyatt Regency at Yankee Ranch. You can get our soda at the Hyatt. Yeah. And I'll get emails from the Sheraton or these other things. We want this. And we do weddings. Like, from all the crap, all the downfalls, and all the challenges, and all the hurdles, we're still killing it. Yeah. It's just your perspective.
For sure.
There's, it's hard to answer that question. Like, why do you keep going? Because I don't focus on the negative. As easy as that is. Like, that's human nature. You want to focus on the negative and be negative, you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that was a huge downer. We got our bottles pulled from that restaurant. Let's pack up. We're done. You know, I look back. That's nothing. That's
right.
That's so stupid to get so upset about. Or, oh, we failed. We were told no by the county that we can't do production out of my cousin's warehouse. Oh, now what? Now just pack it up. We tried. We gave it a college try. No. Bigger opportunity came. We can do production in Mexico. Huge production. We're shipping 4 pallets of soda, which is nothing, guys. Like, to be honest, it's not. It's 2,000 bottles. It's not a big deal.
Sounds like a lot to me.
Yeah. Right. At the time, I was like, man, we shipped 4 pallets of soda. This is amazing.
Yeah.
It's nothing. Like, it's really not. But, and that huge downfall, that getting shut down, could be like anybody else would say, yeah, we're done. Let's pack it up. But each one has been bigger and bigger and bigger. And this one, my next attempt, attempt number 4, isn't bigger than Mexico, but it's different.
Yeah.
And it's the way I've wanted to do it the whole time. And so now I would say if this one doesn't work, that's when I'll think, do I want to keep going? 4 times. Like, you know, they say 3rd time's a try, and I'm here on number 4.
4th time's a charm.
So I feel really confident on this one. We've built up a lot of great following, and people really like it.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
even if we just got to where we could do 2 markets a week, that would, you know, help us. The end goal, to be honest, is for Coca-Cola to give me a call and be like, hey, we want to acquire you. Cool. I'll sign that. Yeah. It'll be
Give me the money.
millions of dollars. Yeah. Like, and that'll give me the funds to start the other stuff. I have dreams of helping people, like my foundations that I want to do. That's really the goal of this, is to create these really cool ways to help other people get back on their feet. Like, people, you look down, people are always like, oh, people in Africa. Like, yeah, I feel bad for them. Really do respect people that go there. But we got people here literally around the corner
Down the street
that don't have food tonight. It breaks my heart. And so I want to help them. So this is me. There's a lot. Yes, I want to have a lot of money and take care of my family, but I also want to be able to help others. And so I look at every day I wake up, Simple Soda, I really want that to be successful, but not because I want to be rich, so that I will have the means to help others.
That's awesome.
So that's what keeps me going. That positive thought of, I'm doing this to help others.
Super cool.
Do you spend more time cleaning your pool than you spend swimming in it? Then call Flamingo Pools today. Flamingo Pools is your go-to swimming pool maintenance and repair company in the East Valley. Whether it's weekly maintenance, repairs, green to cleans, or one-time cleanings, Flamingo Pools will take care of you. Honest, reliable, and innovative. Just a few of the many good things Flamingo Pools customers have to say about them. Ask them about their mineral treatment, which will keep your chemical levels down, allowing you to have a healthier bathing experience. At Flamingo Pools, they know that your pool was made to be enjoyed, so let them handle the rest. Check them out at azflamingopools.com or give them a call at 480-422-6013. Mention this podcast and you'll get your first month of maintenance completely free. That's azflamingopools.com and 480-422-6013.
Couple questions.
Yeah.
So you obviously you do a lot of your sales through B2B, through other restaurants that sell your sodas. Was that intentional, instead of not being like, hey, we want to open up a Simple Soda storefront where people can buy it, or did it kind of just happen?
No, I've always wanted to do B2B. That's where the money is.
Yeah.
Per bottle, I don't make as much, but volume wise, I do.
Right.
I'll never sell to Walmart. You hear me, Walmart? I'll never sell to because they're chip bullies, and if Coke wants to end up selling to them, that's fine, but I don't want anything to do with it. Or Pepsi, whoever ends up acquiring me. But I will never sell to those types of things. But Whole Foods, yeah, I would love to be. That's a huge account.
Yeah.
But, sorry, I forgot where I was going with that. So the whole B2B is, I want to handle the production of stuff. And do we want our own little soda shop? 100%.
Yeah.
I think it'd be awesome. We make real soda here, and we're adding purees to your flavor of choice, but it's real purees. Like, we have tons of ideas. A keg program where we have these cute little mini kegs where you can come in and trade in a keg and get the flavor you want for a party, and it has a little tap on it.
That's super cool.
Special. So many cool ideas.
Yeah.
And that's where we would do that, is in these little retail fronts.
Yeah.
But getting it into restaurants is a lot more viable of an option, because it pays the bills a lot more than a retail would. Because so much cost goes into just the retail store, whereas a warehouse costs you nothing in comparison. So the whole getting it into restaurants was more important to me than having one little space to sell it, or I could have 1,000 places to buy it. Like that's to me makes a lot more sense.
Right, that's smart. And like you might make a bit less profit up front, but then they're handling all the sales and marketing sort of things, and you're just.
I mean, we'll obviously push it.
Right. Yeah.
On our website right now, you can go on there and see everywhere that you can buy our stuff. On our Instagram, we post about where you can buy our stuff. Like it's a cross collaboration for sure. Yeah.
Is it hard to get into these places, being so new? Did people be like, we don't know who you are, you're so young, why would we take your soda? Or was everyone pretty receptive to it?
It was different than I thought. So like when I went around to all those places to get those letters of intent signed, a lot of them had already reached out to us and said we want it just based off of the branding and the way the bottles look.
Right.
Like props to my wife and her idea of the brand. That's what gets us in the door. For sure. It's super easy. They look at it like, that's beautiful. Yeah. The trick is if it matches the taste, like when they taste it. And we've done a really good job of that. So they look at it, like, this looks great. And then they taste it. It tastes better than it looks. So it's not hard for my product to get into places because of how good it is. It looks great. It tastes amazing. And I'm like, oh, yeah, we want this. The hard part is because it's all real and it's all natural and all that, the price point does not match a Coke. Not even close. Right. They're still going to make 66% off of the product, but they're not going to make what they would make off of a Coke. Yeah. Not even close. And so that's the one hurdle is, this is a premium product. You're going to pay for a premium product. And when I was thinking about my price point, because we sell them for $3.50 a bottle, which when you think about it, for soda, that's expensive. Right. But I would go into Quick Trip, grab a Red Bull off the thing, and how much was that?
It's pretty close to the same price.
For a Red Bull. Yeah. Like a nasty, bad for you Red Bull. I love Red Bull, don't get me wrong. Especially that yellow. But, so I was like, my price point's fine. Yeah. And we tested it. And we do markets. And we sell it just fine. We've tried to lower it. Didn't make a difference. So we've kept it at that price point. Because people... So we'll have samples and they'll taste it. And that's when they'll buy it. That's the key. So to answer your question, is it hard to get into places? Not for me. Because one, our branding is awesome. People know about it. People are asking about it. But when they taste it, they're like, oh, yeah, it totally makes sense. We want it.
Yeah. Tell us about a couple of your flavors, favorite flavors, most popular flavor you guys have.
Man, I have so many ideas for flavors. But we started out with 3 flavors, just lime, which is, just as the name suggests, lime juice. Okay. And people are like, oh, I don't know if I like that. Growing up in Mexico, there's a place called La Michoacana. It's paletas, the Mexican popsicles. Have you guys ever tried them?
Oh, yeah, Mexican popsicles.
Yeah.
Nice.
Bomb tasting stuff. Right. There was one in particular that I would always get. It was the limon, which in Mexico is a green lime. And I wanted a soda that tasted just like that. And so I made it, and it does. It tastes exactly like that popsicle. So if I ever get a fellow Mexican that comes up, I'm like, hey, taste this. What does it remind you of? And for sure, they're like, La paleta de Michoacán, the popsicle from it. And I'm like, yes.
That's awesome.
And that one was my favorite. Hands down. So good. It's refreshing. It tastes great. It's just good. Yeah. Arizona orange we made because we wanted it to be like something Arizona-y. Yeah. I made it up. Yeah. I don't know if Arizona oranges do this or not, but it tastes like a creamsicle. Like exactly like a creamsicle.
Ooh, wow. Good. Yeah.
I specifically poured 4 bottles of soda for you guys. I totally forgot it.
Oh man.
Well, we'll have to call you home then.
Yeah. I was, after the podcast got done, I was going to be like, hey, so how do we get a hold of some soda?
Like I remember I locked the fridge and I got in the car and I was driving back and I was like, oh crap, I forgot that soda.
But we'll meet again.
Yes. So Arizona orange is really good. It's like a creamsicle. And then the grapefruit, of course, we call it toronja, which is, I hate to say it like this, but it's true. It's Mexican for grapefruit. It's not Spanish. It's Mexican. Okay. Because in Spanish, grapefruit is actually pomelo. And so we call it toronja, which is another tie back to my roots. That's cool. Toronja being in northern Mexico is what they call grapefruit. And then we released our second most recent flavor is strawberry lemonade. Ooh. And that one's cool. We use just strawberries and lemons, and it is red.
Really?
And we don't add any artificial colors or flavors. Like when you taste it, you're like, what the heck? And it looks red, like it's red, guys. Oh, wow. It's super red. It's so cool. I'm blown away by how cool that flavor ended up being. And it's our best seller. Yeah. It's iconic. And my daughter is like, I want strawberry soda. And she's always asking for it. That one has given lime a run for its money in my book. Like it's super good. And then we do a seasonal flavor. We have a just peach, which is So good.
Yeah.
And then we were going to do spiced honey apple as a seasonal flavor during the winter, but its popularity is ridiculous, so it has now become.
You kept it.
It's a staple flavor. It'll always be available.
That sounds really good.
And then we did at the beginning of summer. We do a watermelon lime.
Ooh, that's what I need.
Oh yeah, big watermelon guy.
Watermelon by itself, not good.
Right. Yeah.
If you juiced watermelon and you
Just
tasted it, you're like, but eating watermelon's great.
It's good.
But the juice, it's lacking. Like
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste good.
That
We
lime
add some
makes that
lime in
pop.
there. It's super good, and it's got a pretty cool color too.
Uh-huh.
It's not as rich by any means as the strawberry, but it's still pretty cool.
Yeah.
I tried to do a what's that cactus prickly pear.
Prickly pear, yeah.
Ooh.
We did a prickly
Prickly
pear
pear's
lime.
good.
I love prickly pear.
It was good. It wasn't like I wasn't like right, oh my gosh, you gotta try this. But it was good.
Yeah.
If you like prickly pear, you'd like
Yeah.
it. But I had lime to everything.
I'm a huge lime guy. Like
Okay.
if I get cranberry juice, I hit that with lime, and like anything.
Lime's bomb.
Lime is my thing.
I've experimented with pineapple. That's coming.
Now
Pineapple
that,
flavor.
that's our
Now you're speaking our language. Now,
Pineapple is coming.
Right.
now we can end it right now, and we're gonna go try.
It's hard to make because I need a cold press,
Okay.
but it's coming.
Nice.
That's part of the adventure that we're headed into. Is
Huge
introducing
pineapple
pineapple.
guys.
It's
Looking
so
forward to
good. So yeah, just peach, spiced honey apple. The apple one's really cool because we partner with a local bee rescue company or hive
really?
rescue, and so we get the honey from rescue bees.
That's super
Which
cool.
That's the story too. That's
shortage
sweet.
of bees is, it's good. It's good to use
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
So we're all about trying to be as environmentally conscious. That's why we use glass bottles and not plastic.
Right.
I could have found clear plastic bottles for way cheap,
Oh yeah.
but it's not good.
Glass is just cool, and I think every age group loves glass too. Like
Yeah.
they just love
Oh.
that bottle.
I always think of I'm gonna throw Sobe under the bus here. Do you know?
Oh, I remember the
Remember?
glass Sobe bottles.
Do you remember what the label said
What did it say?
on the back? As a kid, I remember thinking, "Oh, that's so cool." Maybe that's what inspired me to do glass. But the bottles on the back said, "No passion in plastics." And now you can't find a Sobe
No.
bottle in glass; it's all plastic. I'm like,
Now Simple Soda's taking that over. Yeah.
And then you can do the Sobe bombs where you hit the
Oh,
bottle.
dude,
Yeah,
that was
that's
the
what I
best. The
thought.
Sobe bombs. Oh yeah.
Miss those bottles.
Uh-huh.
Anyway,
Well, now we can use simple soda bottle.
you
Simple
can't,
soda.
you can't pop those bottles.
Oh, sure.
Sorry.
We'll figure something out.
You can break them. I've broken 4 bottles,
It's pretty
which
good.
is pretty good.
That's
What
good.
a year?
That's
My,
good.
one of my, I'm not saying like bottles. I broke one of mine.
Yeah.
Back to the flavors real quick. I tried to do blueberry.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
No?
No.
You can't juice a blueberry.
Really?
It tastes like dirt.
Really?
Huh.
I tried like every which way. Not gonna happen.
All right.
And we also get a lot of asks for root beer.
Okay.
I,
Is it coming or?
I have the recipe.
Uh-huh.
I don't even know how to make root beer.
I'm afraid of root beer.
Really?
You don't want to mess it up.
Well, Sunup's got it down.
Yeah.
Sunup Brewery has got it figured out. I've had a lot of people be like, "We need a simple soda root beer." Like the problem is root beer isn't simple.
Yeah.
I was
There's-
gonna say, how do you do that without the...
There's over 10 ingredients that goes into root beer
Uh-huh.
if you want to do it from like legit scratch.
Yeah.
And so,
I have 2 requests. I want something with coconut and some sort of like ginger ale, ginger beer sort of.
ginger's coming. No worries there.
All right.
I love ginger ale. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I love ginger ale.
Ginger ale is Seagram. Oh, there's a ginger ale. What was it called? You got to try it. It's an Australian company.
Oh.
Bundaberg?
Bundaberg.
I love
Oh.
it.
Dude, it's so good. So like I see those guys, they're doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Like I almost feel like I should stay in my lane. Like juice based stuff. But
Uh-huh.
ginger
They've
ale
got
is
some
easy.
good stuff. Yeah,
It's, and their bottle's really cool.
yeah, the
super
little
cool bottle.
glass ones.
The way they open.
Uh-huh.
I think that's
The
unique.
cap, yeah.
So I see that when I think about what's next flavor wise, I take into account that type of stuff. Like, cool, nobody does a good grapefruit. Nobody does a good lime. Nobody
Right.
does a good peach. But there's some ginger out there that's top notch. And there's some root beer out there you can't compete with.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like could I do it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Will it compare? Maybe.
Yeah.
Will it be up to my standards? No.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's almost like I think if you just focus on what you're good at and not try and just like be
Do
some,
everything.
yeah, you're gonna be a lot better.
Right.
I mean, that's for any business. If you just focus on what you're good at.
and I take a page out of Apple. They
Yeah.
they had so many products out when they were about to go under. And then when Steve came back, he's like, cool, we have 5 products.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they focused on
Simple.
that. So
Simple.
maybe eventually we'll get into that root beer life, but it's gonna be a while.
Nice.
Awesome. I love it. What would you say your favorite and least favorite part is? Kind of like the day-to-day life of running the business.
I'll go with my least favorite because that's like I said, it's easy to be negative. There are weeks, and I mean weeks, that go by where I'm up at 5 and I don't get home until 10. Like I'm hustling, and my daughter will FaceTime as much as we can, but I'm like focused. I'm laser focused, working, juicing, cooking, because there's a lot of heat involved.
Yeah.
And so I'll lose time. Like hours will go by, and I made a lot of soda, but I'm like, weeks have gone by where I'm up at 5, home by 10, and maybe get a shower in and sleep. And I'm eating like crap because I don't have time.
Yeah, you're sat on the road.
I put on probably 30 pounds of Taco Bell and just,
the wrappers are in your car and stuff like that.
No, I actually keep my truck very clean.
Okay, that's good.
I have a little disorder of obsessive compulsiveness when it comes to keeping my truck clean. I know. But yeah, so that's the part that I hate is I'm so hungry for success that all this other stuff is falling away. Right. And it sucks, but like I said, I go back to those moments where LGO said yes, or I got an email from the Hyatt that wanted it, or somebody will be like, hey, that's the owner of Simple Soda right there. Like, that's cool. Yeah. That feels cool.
Yeah, that's a cool feeling, I bet.
And then I also think of, cool, once we've made it, and I'm driving down the freeway and I'm going to get stuff at Restaurant Depot, and there's that guy on the corner who's just struggling. And you can tell he's not a drug addict or anything. He's just like, I need work. Man, I want to help that guy. I want to be in a position to do that. So that's what keeps me pushing is those things. So that's the negative. I'm losing a lot of stuff. I haven't lost any hair.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's got some locks. I usually have my hair down to my shoulders.
I was going to say, I think I saw some pictures on Instagram a bit longer.
Yeah. So I'm like every day I'm like, is this? No? Hairline's still solid. We're good. And that's why I have a hat on. I'm training my hair to go back because it's growing out. So that's good. There's a lot of stress. And then the positives, and I kind of touched base about that already, but it's knowing where I'm headed. Right. And even with my daughter, she's like, Dad, can you bring me home some strawberry soda? Like, she loves it. Yeah. Yeah, for you, of course. Yeah. I mean, it's your inheritance, so why not right now? But, and it's just thinking of where this is headed. That's the positive. Cool. It's fun. Yeah. Like, as much as, I'm working like crazy, I'll create a new flavor out of nothing. I'm like, wow, that's super good. And somebody tries it like, you did it again. Like, I don't know why or how I can create these flavors that taste so good, but people love them. Like, have you guys heard? Are you guys from here? Sorry. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Native Arizonans. Mm-hmm. Spent time in Utah?
Yeah.
J-Dogs?
Oh, I know J-Dogs.
You know J-Dogs?
You know J-Dogs.
So you know about apple beer, maybe?
I've heard of it, but I've never had it.
I hadn't heard of it. Like, this is weird to me. But, so here in Arizona, we had Waldo's. Have you guys been to Waldo's?
I don't think
barbecue. You're not true Arizona fan.
No, I have been to Waldo's, yes.
Waldo's was my introduction to barbecue. Love the stuff. Yeah. Come to find out, my dad worked with the owner in Snowflake on the owner's father's pig farm, which helped him get into the whole barbecue thing as it is. Yeah. Clayton Caldwell.
Yes, okay, yeah.
So he was the owner of Waldo's. He sold it and kind of disappeared for a while. Come to find out, he was doing research in Texas. And then he came back and he opened up Caldwell County Barbecue.
Incredible.
Best barbecue. Sorry, little miss, but I think it's the best barbecue in Arizona.
Easy. I love that place.
It's so good.
Yeah.
He licensed J-Dogs here and calls it Clay Dogs. Yep. Have you been there?
Yep. Of course I have. Of course.
Love it. He does amazing hot dogs because he takes his brisket and pulled pork from Caldwell County Barbecue, puts it on that business. It's so good. So I met with him and he wanted an apple beer. What does apple beer taste like? I don't know. So I made up a recipe and he tried it. He's like, this is it. This is perfect. Let's go.
Really?
What?
And so that's awesome. Clay Dogs has a exclusive flavor that you can only get at Clay Dogs, and it's Simple Soda's apple beer.
Really?
Nice.
Which is really cool.
That's good to know.
They're out of stock right now.
Okay.
But by the time this airs, I don't know when is this airing?
Well,
a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they'll be back in stock. So yeah, you can get Clay Dogs. You can get apple beer at Clay Dogs.
Cool. Okay, so last big question I want to ask is, what advice would you have for an entrepreneur that's wanting to start up a business?
The same advice somebody gave me: don't get in the food and beverage industry. No, I kid. Just do it. There's no reason not to. Yeah. There really is no reason not to. We live in the United States of America. There is no reason. There's nothing to stop you from doing it. Just do it. And if you don't know what to do and you have an idea, contact me. I don't care. It's Ben@simplesoda.co. I love talking about business ideas. Like I said, I have about 1,000 other stuff brewing in my head that I want to do, but I've got this baby I got to take care of right now. And once it's there, cool. But I love talking about ideas that people have. I actually have 3 in the works that I'm kind of doing in the back end that's really like struggling right now because I have to refocus Simple Soda. But just do it. If it's a good idea, it'll work. You'll get recognized.
Yeah.
I don't know why you wouldn't. If you don't do it, you're stupid.
I'm quoting that.
Yeah, we're quoting that. That's going to be a quote.
Oh, that's definitely awesome advice. Yeah, great advice, great story, great inspiration. It's definitely been a pleasure sitting down and talking with you.
Sweet.
Thanks for hearing me out. I love like I said, I love talking about it. I probably talked, what are we, an hour over?
A little over an hour.
It hasn't felt like it though.
Yeah, no, it's been good. It's been worth it.
Yeah. So I just love sharing my story and my hopes and dreams. So I appreciate you guys taking your time.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I definitely think your story will inspire a couple people out there. I just wanted to say one thing back to something that stood out in your story is the guy that gave you the $1,000 check. I think lots of people look at that like, oh, he just got lucky. Like, why can't that happen to me? It's like, it's not fair, or it's just because he got lucky. That's the only reason he got at that point. But I've heard a quote where luck is where opportunity and preparation meet.
Yeah.
And if you weren't doing your part to be prepared, that would have never happened. So anyone out there that thinks that they're just not getting lucky or not,
and really,
what they need,
$1,000 is not much.
right?
Yeah.
You could get a credit card, and I was about to do that. Like it was going to happen either way.
Yeah.
I just got, I was talking to the right guy at the right time. But I would, like you said, I was ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I heard something. Sorry, we're going over time, but I heard something today that like there's people out there that just love feeding like money or any source of like help to an idea. Like they just don't like coming up with ideas, but they're more than happy to give their money to an idea to see what it can do.
Yeah, it's true.
So there's ways that you can get help without having to do much. Like just market yourself well.
Yeah.
Have a good product.
And if anybody's wanting to invest in Simple Soda, we're always looking for
say
help.
We won't say no. Awesome. Okay, well, yeah, I guess that kind of wraps things up. Once again, thank you so much for being here today. It's been a good time, and we'll catch you all next week.
Sweet.